My guest at this time is an Olympic gold medalist and WWE Hall of Famer. It is Kurt Angle. Kurt, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, man. First of all, how does it feel? You went viral in the last 24 hours with your Got Milk video. How's that?
Yeah. That was my wife's idea. She's pretty creative with stuff like that. So, yeah, we put a post down and it went a little crazy.
You did, and that's the thing. I would just kind of start off on a random note here. Do you wish that you had social media when you were active and running with WWE?
Hold on. Okay. Oh yeah. I wish I did. I do and I don't. I know this. Having social media takes up a lot of your time, and unfortunately, you're on your phone more than you should be. So I'm not sure I would want that. I think I was okay with the way it was. I know how important it is, but I'd rather just worry about my wrestling and not have to worry about what I have to post every day.
Yeah, it does seem like it gets a lot of people in trouble, for better or worse.
A little more complicated now, yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So what have you been doing, Kurt? I mean, you're obviously like a physical specimen. How have you been dealing with the pandemic and having to be inside so much?
Just, pound the pavement, doing a lot of meetings, a lot of virtual meetings, and doing endorsements, some movies that I've been talking to agency and my manager, and just getting into the acting industry and doing more with that. My physically fit nutrition company, that's my first priority. That's the reason why I didn't take the job at WWE, because I wanted to work more on my supplement company and make sure it succeeds. It's called Physically Fit Nutrition. We have chicken snacks, which is kind of like a Chex Mix texture, where we flavor them, and they're made out of chicken. We also have the plant protein, but they're really good. They taste really good. They're very healthy, and I'm excited to see how this does. We have a private label contract with Amazon. We're also selling them in stores and online, so it's going pretty well.
Awesome. And so wait, tell me a little bit more. What was the role that WWE had for you? What would you have been doing if you?
Oh, I think you knew that. The managing Matt Riddle.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that was a few months ago.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was that.
They offered me another job. They wanted me to do coaching, and they offered me that. They also offered me a Legends deal. We weren't able to get a contract done, but I'm cool with WWE. We're good terms. There's no bad blood.
Yeah.
Every once in a while they call me to use me for something. I did a couple of appearances on TV the last few months. Today they had me do an ad for their one of their sponsors, so I did the ad for them. So they still reach out to me. I'm just not under contract, and I kind of like that.
Okay. And when you say coaching, would you have gone down to like the Performance Center and, much like Shawn Michaels, just become involved in that system? Is that kind of what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, I talked to Triple H about not so much going down there a lot, but being on the phone or on a Zoom call with the wrestlers and talking to them, going over film, going over their technique, talking to them about promos. So it was a pretty easy schedule for me.
Yeah.
Nothing came to fruition, but that's okay. I mean, they brought up the idea a few months ago, and it kind of got lost, but it's okay. I'm good where I am, and if they want to continue to use me here and there, that's fine.
Dude, I mean, what a crazy time to be a developmental talent, getting to learn from like Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels and Triple H, man. I mean, that's got to be way different than the way that you came into the business, which was kind of like you got thrown.
Yeah, we had nothing. I had nothing. I had Dory Funk and Tom Pritchard and Bruce Pritchard and Pat Patterson train me, but it was only for like 4 or 5 days a month. It was, the dojo, the Dory Funk dojo was we only were there for 5 days. Yeah. And then we would do 2 shows at the end of the 5 days, and then we'd go home for the whole month. So there wasn't a lot for me until they started bringing me to TV, where I would do a dark match at Raw or SmackDown. But I didn't work on any promo skills. I think I did 1 promo in Memphis, and that was it. And it was about 10 seconds long. So I didn't really learn how to do anything. It was more of a hit or miss for me. And these guys today, they got a lot of opportunity to get better, to improve, even before they go on TV. So I think that WWE has done a tremendous job of getting their talent ready for TV.
And you were a part of NXT obviously very recently. We all saw you as the ref in the fight pit with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. I mean, what was it like for you to get in there and work with those guys? And what did you think of the concept, I guess, in general of that fight pit match?
I thought it was cool. I think it was a great way for Matt to leave NXT and to give Thatcher a little bit of a win. So it worked out well. It was a great match. I thought they did a great job for what they had.
Yeah.
And I think that it was a win-win for everybody.
Do you get a little itchy when you see guys like Thatcher and Riddle and are like, oh man, we'd tear the house down if we ever got a chance to watch?
No. I'm done, man. If I get the itch, then I'm going to want to wrestle. And I have convinced myself that I'm not going to get in the ring again.
Okay, cool. Well, I asked because there's this concept right now I wanted to get your thoughts on too, which was the Raw Underground thing, because, you see some of these guys getting let loose like Dolph Ziggler, and obviously I think a lot of people would love to have seen you in a space like that. What do you think of the Raw Underground concept so far?
Well, I think they came up with the concept because of WrestleMania and, Edge and Orton and Taker and AJ, and people responded very positively. They liked it. They loved it.
Yeah.
So I think that, I don't think wrestling is going to transition into that. And the reason I say that is because you need an audience, and that's how the company makes a lot of money, is by having shows in arenas with fans there. When you do the predetermined, pre-taped matches or fights or whatever you want to call them, sure, you don't have a crowd there. So I think, doing the Hollywood thing is great, but I don't think it'll be long-term. I think it's a great concept, maybe one match per pay-per-view or something like that. But I don't see the company saying, hey, we're not going to go to arenas anymore. We're going to stay in the Performance Center and just do all of our shows here. Just don't see that happening.
So you see things like Raw Underground, maybe even like Thunderdome. These are patches for the long run. These aren't things you see around in the long run, correct?
That's my opinion. Yeah. Yes.
Well, and one of the names that's been bantied about as being really behind this Raw Underground is Shane McMahon. There's a lot of talk about him possibly taking on a larger creative role with the company. What's been your experience working with Shane in a creative capacity, Kurt?
Shane's great. He's got great ideas, great concepts. He's a great athlete. He understands. The kid's been in a lot of fights in his life. Shane is, I'm not going to call him a polished worker.
Okay.
What I'm going to call him is he's an incredible athlete that knows how to perform. And every time he goes in there, he steals the show. So he's doing something right. He's not a full-time wrestler, never was. I don't think he was ever interested in doing that. But when he's in there, he entertains.
Yeah, for sure. And could you see him, if when the time comes and Vince has to, whatever, turn over the reins, could you see Shane as kind of that heir-apparent, or do you see that person as maybe being more Stephanie or Triple H? I mean, who do you see as the next one?
Well, I don't think they could go wrong either way, whether it's Stephanie and Hunter or Shane McMahon. So that's really up to the big guy. I was under the assumption when Shane left a while ago that Stephanie would be the next one. Triple H and Stephanie, I should say, together. But Shane's back, and I don't know what they're going to decide. I know this: Vince McMahon believes he's going to live to be 105. He's told me. So don't expect this guy to drop dead anytime soon.
I'm not saying
he's in the best shape of his life. I know, but he's 75. We all know he's getting older, but the guy is as healthy as a horse, and he has a no-die mentality, man. He's an animal. This guy's the hardest working guy I've ever seen in my life. I think that even Dwayne Johnson will tell you that he got a lot of his work ethic from watching Vince. And, The Rock is very, very hard worker. He pounds the pavement. He's got his hands in everything. And he's exactly like Vince. These two are just a different breed.
It's weird you say that because, Vince just handed the keys off to the XFL to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and company.
I know.
What do you
But
think?
you know what? If Vince wants the company to succeed, he gave it to the right person.
Okay, cool. Talking about creative here, I had to get your take. Roman Reigns is now Universal Champion. He's a heel, and he's with Paul Heyman. What do you think of this new revamped image of Roman Reigns?
It's been a long time coming. I honestly, this is my opinion, but I thought that the WWE should have turned him heel a long time ago, because Roman's really good. He is really good. No matter what anybody says, he's one of the best on the roster. He knows how to work in the ring. Okay, his promo skills have gotten a lot better. He was always quiet when he started, but he's learned his voice and he knows what he's doing. But half the fans didn't like him because he was getting such a hard push. And I think that if he would have turned heel earlier, I think that he would be a really, 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 really big baby face right now, where 100% of the fans would like him. But because of the push and the people not liking him being pushed above everybody so quickly, they're like, we don't like this guy. He's Vince's boy. So anybody that's Vince's boy, which he's not, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Vince loves him. I mean, obviously. But he can back it up. Roman is great, and this heel run will eventually make him a bigger babyface when he turns back. Oh. This will help him tremendously. I just think it's a year. It should have been done a year prior.
Do you think that they should change up the gear and the theme song for Roman Reigns, or do you say keep it the same?
I think they should keep it the same. I mean, I understand what you're saying. They're going to reinvent him and reprogram him.
Yeah.
But, after about 3 or 4 weeks, these fans aren't going to be cheering when his music starts. They're going to be booing. So it's just a matter of time. It's going to take a little bit of time to do that. But to change his music, and, I mean, that's cool. I get it. But I don't think you need to.
What's your take on the report came out this week? Brock Lesnar, kind of like, I guess, yourself, a free agent out there. Does that surprise you, or do you just kind of see him in a similar situation kind of as yourself, and it's like an inevitability he'll come back to WWE?
I don't know. I don't know what it transpired. I don't know why. Something had to have happened, because I heard they pulled all this merchandise off the shelves.
Right, yeah.
So it's not just Brock not having a contract and not knowing where he wants to go. I think something happened. Brock either quit, or the company, obviously they're not going to let him go. Brock's pretty level-headed. He doesn't get in any trouble, so there's no reason to fire the kid. He's a tremendous athlete and a tremendous employee. So I think Brock just got tired of doing it. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to fight again. I don't know if he wants to go to another company. I cannot see him going to another company.
Yeah.
Unless Tony Khan wants to pay him $10, $20 million. I don't know. But you never know. So,
Exactly.
But I mean, I think Brock should just end his career in WWE. I don't see any reason. I mean, the way they treat him, the way he gets paid, I don't know why he'd not want to just stay. It's really up to him, but I think he wants to fight. I think that's the reason.
You think so? Because like the bandied big name bout right now would be him and John Jones. I think Dana White recently said that
Brock's told me that several times. That's who he wants. So, if it happens, it happens. But I think that might be the only way to get Brock to fight. I think he just wants Jones.
Okay.
But I just talked to my buddy Vitor Belfort and just did a photo shoot with him a couple of days ago. We're both ambassadors for Smart Cups. It's a new product that's incredible. It's an energy drink. They actually print the pills, the tablets that you pour water in, you drink it. It's very innovative. But Vitor wants to fight Brock. So
I just about to make that the headline. He called him a fraud, I think, moments ago before we started recording.
Who did?
Vitor. He called Brock Lesnar a fraud.
He's already started.
Oh.
I just had a call with Vitor 2 hours ago. He's already at it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
man. That's crazy. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not saying anything you don't know. I was literally about to make that the headline on our website before I had to record with you. That's wild.
Right.
Well, interesting. The other name I wanted to bring up while I have you here, Kurt, I saw on your social media you just recently were hanging out with Mike Tyson. Can you tell me a little bit about what brought you and Tyson together and what it was like hanging out?
We were shooting a commercial and some ads for Smart Cups. Mike Tyson is also an ambassador. I'm not sure if he owns it too. He might be part owner. I don't know. I all I know is they wanted all the athletes to come to Mike Tyson's ranch in California and shoot a commercial and do some ads. And, Mike was one of them. I was one of them. Henry Cejudo, Cody Garbrandt, but he had coronavirus, so he couldn't come. Also, Vitor Belfort and Chavo Guerrero. Okay. So we all got together and we did the ads and the commercial and got to train with Mike and watch him train, and it was a lot of fun. I met Mike one other time. We did an autograph sign together, and he's a very humble and generous guy. If you don't know Mike, don't put a label on him because the guy's a sweetheart, and he's the kindest guy I've ever met. I'm not BSing you. He's very genuine, and he's very smart, very canny, and I learned a lot from him watching him train. He's a very smart guy, very smart.
I believe his fight with Roy Jones Jr. is still on. Based on what you saw with him training there, you think he's got a pretty good shot at pulling out the victory here?
He's in better shape now than he's ever been. What he did is he surrounded himself with doctors, trainers, and advisors. Okay, I actually joked with him. He said that, I walked in, he's like, Kurt, why you look like you're stiff, your neck and your back. I said, I am. My neck's always killing me. He goes, here, I'm going to have you do my therapy session. He actually gave me his therapy session. It's an hour long. He had me go through it. And I felt like I was 20 years old again when I was done.
Really?
Okay. It's stim and it's stretching and massaging and all together, all in one. And Mike does this every day before he trains. And he looks great. This guy his body looks like it was when he was 20. And he's punching hard. He's quick, very technical. I think he's going to do really well. And hey, Roy Jones Jr., he's been fighting actively anyway. So the guy's a stud too. So it's going to be a great fight. But Mike is ready for this.
Did you catch
this isn't 43-year-old Mike Tyson that wasn't training. And this is what he told me. He said when he was fighting in his 40s, he wasn't looking forward to the fight. He couldn't wait till it was over so he could get drunk and hang out with the girls.
Yeah.
That was his mentality. He didn't want to fight. He was doing it for the money, and he wanted to get it done and go to the parties. And he's not like that now. He's back to the old Mike Tyson. So, and I asked him, why didn't you do all this therapy back then? He said, I don't know. I'm an idiot. I didn't take care of my body. So long story short, he's ready now. He's really ready.
Oh, my God. Did you catch any of what he did in AEW? Did you see any of Mike in there?
No. I heard he was on, I think, a couple times, right?
Yeah, him and Jericho were mixing it up, trying to read.
Yeah, him and Cejudo was there too, right?
Yes. That's
yeah.
He had a couple guys backing him up in the ring, I think. So
yeah.
Do you keep up at all with him, AEW, or is it just like something?
Every once in a while? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jericho and Cody Rhodes. I love watching those guys work. So I turn it on here and there, and I bounce back between NXT and AEW whenever I have time. A lot of times I'm working at my supplement company until late hours. So some weeks I don't get to see it. So but AEW has done really well. I'm really, I said last year, don't expect this company to be number one. It never will be. Be happy with number two. And I also said, I don't know if they'll stay in business, only because, of what we've seen in history. WCW, TNA, had a good run, and then they dropped. They're working their way back. But even Ring of Honor had a pretty good run, and I wouldn't say they're not getting as many views now as they did when they were peaked. Sure. So, all these companies, they put a lot of money into their product, and they don't have a lot to show for it. WWE is just a money machine. No matter what happens, regardless of how many tickets they sell, their TV deals alone are worth hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I mean, we're talking, you know, you got $1 billion deal with Fox, you got $1 billion deal with USA Network. That alone, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, you're doing about $450 million a year in revenue for TV, just those three. Then they have the other international TV deals and everything else. So it's a money machine. I think AEW is going to need to pick up more TV deals. As long as they're accruing, making money, they'll survive. But I don't know if Tony Khan wants to continue to throw millions of dollars when there's not going to be any, you know, anything coming back. But I'm changing my mind now. I think they got a little momentum, and I think they're gonna survive at least for several years. So they've done a great job, and they continue to, you know, climb little by little in ratings. And, you know, I heard they beat NXT, and, you know, so something's going on. And, you know, Jericho and Cody and all the other guys, they're doing something over there. And I also know they kind of get, you know, it's a little more laid back there. You get your own creativity and do your own things. So it's a little different than WWE, but I think, you know, I think they'll have a good run. I don't know how long it will be, but hopefully it'll be a long time because it's great for all the wrestlers. But, you know, WWE is number one. I don't see it ever going number two.
All right. Well, I guess I'll close it up by saying then, yeah, I mean, you sound very loyal to WWE. Should we take off the table the chance of Kurt Angle doing anything with AEW, or do you want to leave the door open for kind of a never say never kind of thing?
You know what, right now, I would say it's off the table. I'm okay where I am. You know, the thing is, when I came back to WWE, I wasn't expecting what I got, and I was very grateful. I got the Hall of Fame. I wanted the Hall of Fame, but I didn't want it first. I wanted it last, and I wanted to wrestle first. I took a year off from TNA. I was wrestling Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, Del Rio, Joe Coffey from the UK, Zack Sabre Jr., a lot of great athletes, and I was ready. And when I was inducted to the Hall of Fame, that night, Vince McMahon told me I was going to be general manager. And I was like, oh, man, I wanted to wrestle. Now they're going to have me inactive. And I was inactive. I only probably wrestled 3 matches in the next year and a half. So being inactive and not bumping in the ring and not really training, my body got arthritic. And by the time I was wrestling for Vince, for WWE, I looked like an old man. And it caught up to me. The inactivity, believe it or not, everybody thinks that rest is the best thing for you, but that's not always the case, especially in professional wrestling. If you're not active in the ring every week, at least every week or every night, then you're gonna go stale, and your body's gonna become stiff and arthritic, especially when you're in as long as I was. So, you know, the opportunity passed by, and, you know, I decided that I was going to retire. I wasn't supposed to retire when I did, but I told Vince I don't want to do it anymore. And that's when I said I'd like to wrestle Cena. He said, I can't give him to you this year because you had a program with Corbin the last 8 months. You got to finish it up. And Vince was right. So I did it. And he said, if you want Cena next year, we could talk about it. And I said, no, I'm done this year. So that was my choice. And, I'm glad I stuck to it. I didn't like the way I looked, and it was a little embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed your run, Kurt. You know, but I'm happy you're happy, man. Like, you look great.
Thank you.
That milk video again. It's like this man's having the time of his life right now, and around 50.
Yeah, I'm staying in shape though. I'm getting ready to do some of these movies, and you know, I got a wrestling shoe that I'm working on to come out. So. It's a lot of fun. Now I'm getting to do my own things, and it's really cool.
Very cool, man. Well, lastly, here, take it home. Tell everybody out there a little bit more about your new snack brand, physicallyfit.com, and these protein.
Well, we've been selling them for about 3 months, and they've done incredibly well. All of our feedback, anybody that's tried them, we haven't had less than a 4-star rating. Most of them are 5 stars. The flavors are incredible. We have like honey barbecue and sriracha, kung po, cinnamon swirl, which tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's really good. The kids love it. But they're healthy. We have plant protein too. So there's chicken snacks and there's Snack Smart plant protein.
Right.
You can get them at physicallyfit.com, and you're gonna love them. They're great. I use them every day. I eat a bag every day, and there's 7 servings in a bag. It's only $9.99, which is only $1.40 a serving. That's a really good good price quote. So we're excited about the product, and anybody that's interested, go to physicallyfit.com. Pick your favorite flavors. We even have sour cream and onion. We have 11 different flavors, so they're really good. We have cheese pizza. They're all great.